Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. So, four guys. That's what it was. That was the story tonight. Four NXT stars. Everyone was saying that the crowd was dead. They didn't deserve such a good show. And I'm here to review it, and I'm here to tell you that, this is the end, folks. This is not for me. If this is the direction we're going in, I mean, they laid all their cards out on the table. We started off with Triple H coming out to the ring. He says, that, if Becky Lynch does what she did at the Elimination Chamber, breaking the rules of her suspension, that she's going to get arrested. And she goes, oh, that's, he goes, oh, but that was pretty cool, I gotta say. And I'm saying to myself, can you imagine if Vince McMahon said that about Stone Cold after, he beat him up or something like that? I'm just saying, like, he's an authority figure, but he's, like, supposed to be, like, one of you guys, and he's, like, palling around, like, yeah, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? Giving praise to his little creation there, Stone Cold Cringy Lynch, because I think he was the one who's backing her. I think he's the one who's for all this, women's wrestling and everything, and he's the big proponent of that. And I'm just saying, and he's like, speaking of cool, and then they announced that DX is going into the Hall of Fame. And Chyna's there, and to me, this just seems like a lazy way. Chyna deserves to be there on her own. After all the things they said about her, oh, she did, porn, and little kids could look it up on the internet, and they could look up this Hall of Famer and see that she was in these adult movies. That's such garbage. So they're going to let her in anyway, but it's going to be part of a group. And I think that's total nonsense. She was such a pioneer. She deserves her own individual spot in the annals of the Hall of Fame. This, okay, DX, yes, they totally deserve to be in there. But after all the controversy with Chyna, they really should have made up for it by putting her there on her own. But this whole thing with Triple H being like, oh, that was pretty cool. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to, so whatever. But then he like throws to a package of like all the NXT guys that are going to be showing up tonight, and Michael Cole is doing like a little introduction, and that right there, I mean, that was so fucking lame. And just by him saying that, oh, that was pretty cool, I mean, that just I mean that just did it for me. I mean, that was so cringeworthy in every sense of the word. I mean, just like, why do that to Triple H? I think back to Triple H in the year 2000, in 1999, the Cerebral Assassin. And I know some wrestlers, they've had their moments of, of comedy, Stone Cold singing, singing alongside The Rock and everything, Margaritaville, one of my favorite, my favorite promo of all time. That just proves that I like a more lighthearted approach. I do. But when it's something like this and it just comes off cringeworthy and lame, that is something I'm not going to support. And the way how they just throw it all out there, throw to like a package of each wrestler, Michael Cole giving all these descriptions that just make all the wrestlers seem so generic and throwaway and cookie cutter. Like, oh, this guy is remorseless, Tabasco Manchampa, or, like, come on already. Like, first of all, like, I mean, where did these guys even come from? Just at the last minute, they just throw all these guys out here with no fanfare, no anticipation, no build-up whatsoever. It's just like, these guys are going to debut. And there you go. And Triple H was super fucking cringe here. He was stumbling over his words. It was like, I don't know. The guy was having a mental breakdown. Something was happening here because this just didn't seem normal. I know what this is. This is them trying to compete with AEW. They want to try to get all the fresh faces they can out there. It doesn't matter, you know, who it is. You know, here's a bunch of guys that the Smarks like, so we're going to put them out on Raw. And the sad thing is that AEW is not going to be any competition for them. Everybody, and, you know, I don't have to name any names on here. They got their little AEW shirts on. Hoorah, you know. And it's like pretending like you don't already know how this is going to go. So it's just sad to see this, you know. All the AEW support, WWE actually, you know, remember when they wouldn't even take TNA as a threat, and they're going to take AEW as a threat? I mean, that really shows that they must know that they suck, and they really have run out of ideas if they're really going to take this route and start bowing down to every single indie god. I mean, it's bad enough that Seth Rollins is going to be main eventing against Brock Lesnar and probably pinning his shoulders to the mat. But then we have to put up with this garbage as well. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, just, I don't understand, like, how you guys get behind someone with a name like that. You know, Tommaso Tabasco Sauce. I mean, just like the name, I can't get behind a guy with a goofball name like that. Ricochet and Aleister Black, who probably has the best look out of them all. But I look at everybody else and I don't really see anything to really get too excited about. I don't really know why these are such celebrated names, you know, why everybody looks up to these guys and thinks that this is like something great, that we should all just like bow down to these indie gods. You know, what makes them so great? Why are they so great? I really couldn't tell you. You'd have to ask the Smarks. I don't really have an answer for you guys when it comes to that. You're gonna have to tell me. So they're all going to be debuting tonight. Lottie fucking die, I suppose. And up next, we're going to have Braun Strowman defeating Baron Corbin in the tables match. So it's going to be one-on-one. So apparently, I guess, I don't know if they really, like, made it official that Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley were not allowed near ringside. So, you know, everything that they did just beating up Braun Strowman, they just completely undid it. So they beat the shit out of him last night. They're going to come right back, and Braun beats the shit out of Corbin, smashes him through the table. Okay, can we stop with this feud already? Also, let's stop having Corbin wear the dress shirt already, since, you know, he's not an authority figure anymore. I mean, it's almost like they forgot, like, to tell him to change his attire. Like, you know, when attire used to be, like, one of the #1 things in this company. I remember when it was all about pageantry and WrestleMania, and you wouldn't see a guy caught dead, you know, wearing anything, you know, that didn't fit his character. But, you know, then again, what is Baron Corbin's character? I couldn't tell you. So, you know, a tables match. You know, remember when tables matches were special? Remember when they actually meant something? Well, they really don't anymore. You know, this just kind of came and went. And, you know, there was nothing to it. There was nothing special. So, you know, we move on, basically. There's nothing really to see here, folks. Remember, you know, we'd have a tables match with the Dudleys. You know, now it's just a throwaway type of thing. And, you know, because a table was involved last night, so it has to be a tables match by default. Very well. So we get Paul Heyman coming out, and he's here to cut a promo, and for some reason, he thinks it's a good idea to come out as Braun is leaving. Braun grabs him, and, like, can I ask a question, guys? Like, how are you such big fans of Paul Heyman when this guy acts the way he does? You know, he's acting like a fucking cartoon character. Oh, let me go! I can't breathe! I mean, you know, like, are you guys watching the same show that I am? Because I don't think that you are. The way how this guy acts, he's acting like a damn cartoon. You know, let me go! I can't breathe! I mean, like, you know, oh, he's so good at promos. And then Braun just, like, kind of lets him go. And, you know, he goes on to cut the same promo he did. you know, the past, like, several months. And, you know, like, Heyman is not even, like, reacting to Braun in the normal way that a human being would when their life is threatened or they think they're gonna get beat up. I mean, you know, you want to think that Heyman is improvised since, you know, he helps write some of the promos on here. But, you know, like, his own promos are not good. And they come off as, you know, just goofy, just very hokey and dumb. Very, very fucking dumb. They're not good. They're not fun to watch. They're cringeworthy. They're 100% cringeworthy. And for anyone to really say that these are good promos, I mean, I don't know. Your taste is in jeopardy right there. I can't see how anybody could say that this is good or quality. I mean, we've seen good promos in the past. But, you know, I don't know. Seeing Heyman here, oh, let me go! And then hearing, you know, Triple H, oh, that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm feeling super cringed out tonight. I mean, I really am. I'm feeling like, you know, like wrestling is just, well, obviously it's not as it used to be, but just like, I really felt it dying, guys, more than ever. This is why, you know, when people were saying, you know, using the hyperbole that, oh, this is the worst Raw of all time, I'm saying, guys, we haven't even seen what's to come. I mean, you want to talk about the worst ever and not good and all that. Well, you know, we saw a lot of some of the worst here just in these promos alone. Then we get Finn Balor cutting a promo, and like, you know what's funny? It's like at least Heyman and Triple H have a backlog. You know, they've cut good promos. We've heard Paul Heyman on commentary back in 2001. We saw Heyman at One Night Stand, the ECW One Night Stand. Triple H's promos in 2000, and you know, just you know, some great promos from those guys. But you know, how about that generic opening to that promo? I'm IC champion, and doesn't it feel good? I mean, just like, you know, really, you're lying to yourself if you're not cringing at that. I mean, could it get any more generic? Could it get any more cookie cutter? Could it get any more cringe-worthy? I don't think so. So, you know, you've got Balor here, and, you know, I don't fucking know what to tell you guys. I mean, this is about as bad as a promo gets. So Lio Rush comes out. He sounds like super depressed, I guess because he had a fight with Lashley. And then you have, you know, Michael Cole saying, oh, I guess they made up. Well, I guess they did. I mean, they made up? Like, first of all, like, that expression for two men is just, like, ew. Like, and second of all, I mean, what is this? Like, Jinder beats up on his, you know, henchman, Jinder Mahal, who, by the way, we haven't seen him in weeks. You know, and then Lashley beating up on his, you know, guy. And then all of a sudden, you're having Lashley taking marching orders from, you know, you would think that if he lost Lashley's title, if Lio Rush lost Lashley's title, then you think that maybe he wouldn't take orders from Lio Rush anymore. And there he is. You know, he's taking orders from Lio Rush. And then Ricochet comes out to save him. Oh, the WWE is saved because Ricochet is here, the indie god. You know, the guy that had a smart mouth with Vader. You know, God rest Vader's soul, but, you know, this was the guy that Vader said that, you know, this guy's not a wrestler, you know, he's just, you know, like a stunt man. And that's what it is, you know, and I'm watching this match, and I guess I'll save it for a little bit later as some of the other debuts transpired on this night. But Ricochet and Balor get the win here. At least Lashley didn't get pinned, but, you know, like, you know, you see a theme here. And you know, Ricochet is very high flying. He's flipping out of the ring. He's doing 1,000 fucking flips. Flip here, flip there, flip anywhere. Old McDonald had a goddamn flip. I mean, there's just, The whole match is made up of fucking flips, and you know, it's fucking overkill. But we'll move on. Drew McIntyre is asking for a match against Seth Rollins from Triple H. Dean Ambrose slaps him. Somehow, this doesn't cause a fight. Drew McIntyre just stands there, takes the slap, doesn't do anything, and you know, and then he goes, "Change the match. Why didn't you just go after Dean or beat the shit out of him right there? Change the match. Like, how about we change the fucking channel? I mean, how about that, guys? I mean, this, honestly, I mean, you want to talk about just, what are they fucking doing here? They had Drew McIntyre, this big tough guy, just get slapped in the fucking face, and he's just standing there like a fucking goofball. You know, oh, you could slap me, I guess. I mean, what is this? What am I watching where this big dude, Drew, is just getting slapped in the face by Dean Ambrose and just taking it? Then the Lucha House Party defeated Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. So, you know, I guess Ryder just jumped on the Hawkins train so he could just lose Ryder along with Hawkins. But I would assume they're building up to something. But then again, they haven't built up to anything with Hawkins, so why would they with Ryder? And there's Michael Cole. The Lucha House Party loves having fun. And you know, at least Corey Graves has had a few good lines lately. I really dislike the guy. But, you know, he said, like, who doesn't like having fun, Cole? Like, you know, this line, he's been using this shit now for how long? They're all about having fun, you know. And then JBL started saying it's all about having fun, Maggle. I mean, they're having... You know, they're constantly talking about this, you know, well, it's all about having fun. You know, like, exactly, like, what is this lame line that he keeps using about having fun? Like, you know, okay, yeah, they look like they're having fun. No, they look like they're bored. You know, the thing is, it's a wrestling match. About having fun? Is that what it's supposed to be about? You know, it's not about these guys having grudge matches and beating the shit out of each other. They're just in the ring having fun, I guess. You know, all the stress and, you know, all the heavy lifting and, you know, fighting to the top of the mountain to be proclaimed the best. You know, fuck that. It's all about having fun, apparently. That's all that really matters. Then we had a weird segment, you know, which it doesn't, is it really weird if it's weird all the time? You know, weird would indicate that it stands out. This is kind of commonplace for them at this point. So you have, the Lucha, what am I saying? You know, I got Lucha House Party on the brains because my brain was just fucking fried from hearing Michael Cole scream about having fun for several minutes there. Heavy Machinery comes out and they're getting interviewed. There's nothing here being said, really, you know, in this promo. And then Lacey Evans comes out. She struts out much like she did at Elimination Chamber. And if you missed Elimination Chamber, basically what happened is they played her music. She walked to one end of the entrance ramp, and then she walked back the other way. Totally confusing, probably the whole fucking crowd. She goes ahead and she does it again. Then what happens, in Heavy Machinery walks down to the ring, bushwhacker style, then walks back up and then really gets animated with and starts walking around. And Lacey Evans is just like laughing and she seems like entertained, and that was the segment. Like what just happened here? Like, what was this even supposed to be? I mean, okay, first of all, they're imitating the Bushwhackers. Get some fucking originality. Second of all, why is Lacey Evans even there? Like, what is she, like, doing there? She's just there to walk from one end to the entrance ramp. I mean, you know, I guess that's women's equality, you know. If a guy can walk to the end of the entrance ramp, you know, so can a woman. And then, you know, I guess Heavy Machinery paid her back. So, you know, everyone was equal here. You know, that was great. That was, some may call it artistic. I mean, I call it fucking retarded, but you could call it whatever you want. I mean, people were saying that this was a great show. because, and they said, I was looking on YouTube, many people were saying how great of a show this was, because you had NXT appearances, and I'm gonna, and they also criticized the crowd for being dead. We'll get to that in a moment here, because Johnny Gargano and Tommaso, Tabasco Sauce Ciampa defeated the Revival. So they just gave the belts to the Revival last week. They already lost. Gargano and, Tommaso there, Hot Tamale Ciampa, like, that name, man. I honestly, I've seen this guy, I've heard him, I've seen him in action. I am not impressed. I'd rather see him as Palmer Cannon, his name was, on 2005. He played a role on TV where he acted like he was from the network. He said to get the ratings up. He introduced the juniors division and a lot of other stuff. But, so he became a full-fledged wrestler on the roster. Now he's on the main roster. And I'm watching Gargano. Gargano is, basically Finn Balor #2. I mean, I'm watching these guys and I'm like, what is so special about this team that everyone is going gaga over them? Tommaso Ciampa. This guy is, supposed to be a great heel, a great person. I see no personality. First of all, he looks like a nobody. Looks like a bald guy with a beard. Other than that, he doesn't look that impressive. Gargano looks like just the epitome of a nobody. I mean, he looks like he is literally fucking nobody. He looks like has no identity whatsoever. And apparently, this guy, I'm saying he's probably Finn Balor #2. All the marks go gaga over his abs. Meltzer talks about his abs. So I'm just saying, this is just honestly, what is the big fucking deal? Why are we so in love with these guys? Why are we bowing down to these indie gods? For what reason? For what reason? They came out there, they did not impress. They did not impress one bit. I'm there watching them, and I'm just basically saying to myself, why are they the talk of the fucking internet? They're not special. They don't look special. They don't act special. And plus, they came out here, and it was the same thing like Ricochet. Oh, Triple H is like, oh, here's a bunch of people from NXT, and then Michael Cole does little introductions, and I'm just like, okay, so we're rushing all these guys out. We don't know one guy from the other. Unless you watch NXT, you have no idea who they fucking are. People are gonna say, oh, Brad, you don't watch NXT. But the thing is, I keep up with it on YouTube. I see what's happening from time to time. And I'll tell you something. NXT is one of the most overrated things I've ever fucking seen. There's two things that are overrated. And I know I'm gonna catch flack from a few people here. But, I will say that, to PlayStation Guy 85, and you got Polston, who are big fans of Impact. But I will say this: Impact has had more entertaining segments than WWE. That I will admit, because I saw the Scarlet Bordeaux and Scott Steiner, lap dance. When Steiner shows up, Eli Drake is great. They had Glenn Gilberti. The Thanksgiving stuff was entertaining. But for the most part, I think you guys tend to overrate it. They only have a few moments. Scott Steiner only shows up once every few months. It looks to me like Eli Drake isn't even a big deal on that show anymore. And, I do like John Morrison and everything, but, it has a very B feel to it. It feels like, the B movie of wrestling. I'm just saying, when something has, horrible production values, I have a very hard time getting into it. That's, that's an important thing for me. Something, when I watch it, I don't want to feel like I'm just watching something that's just, not really doing it for me. And it just kind of looks ugly, and that's kind of how, Impact is for me. But regardless, these guys, they're overrated. Just like the brand of NXT, just like Impact, just like basically New Japan. It's all overrated. People make a big fucking deal out of pretty much nothing. This is, like, not quality stuff here. These aren't, like, guys that are gonna come, you know, in and just, like, raise the ratings up. Guys, none of these 4 people are going to raise the ratings. Guaranteed. Because even your beloved Stone Cold Cringy Lynch had tanked the ratings last week. Wow, how did that happen? She's so over, right? Okay. Then we had Kevin Owens, and now this time he's at a movie theater. And during the promo, he's shoving popcorn into his fucking mouth. He's asking his son for $20. And if you're gonna ask me what else was the promo about, he talked about returning. That's pretty much it. Like, honestly, like, first of all, that's fucking just gross. Like, cutting a promo and stuffing popcorn in your mouth. I know he lost weight, but come on. Like, I mean, honestly, cutting a promo from a movie theater, like, that's the best they could do. This is just, like, I mean, did they really want anybody to like this guy? I mean, you know, arguing with his son over $20. This is, you know, okay, I get it. He's a family man. They want to show him with his family. But I'm just not getting into this. I'm sorry. I just can't be one of the people that are just like, oh, Kevin Owens, he's so awesome. This is not awesome. This is probably the furthest thing from awesome. This is the furthest thing from good or even decent or even subpar. Watching a guy shoving popcorn into his mouth, I mean, just, like, do you really want this guy to have, like, a positive image? Then you had Sasha Banks and Bailey, and they're doing, like, the googly eyes at each other, and I'm like, oh, man, here it comes, they're finally gonna, and then Nia Jax and Tamina come out. Nia Jax and Tamina are scared off by Bailey and Sasha. I mean, I would have been scared off by Nia and that, oh, you guys, you know, that voice. I don't know where or when they thought it was a good idea for her to become Valley Girl out of nowhere and pretty much, like, do a Nikki Bella impression. Because that's, like, you look at Nia Jackson, do you really think she'd sound like that? Well, apparently someone thought it was a good idea for her to just go full Valley Girl. Whether it's a good idea or not, I mean, it's here to stay. I mean, she's done this now for a few months already. It's been cringe every step of the way, but hey, I mean, you know, we're stuck with Valley Girl Nia over here, I suppose. What do we got next? What's up next? Drew McIntyre defeated Dean Ambrose. EC3 was nowhere to be seen, so, you know, we had this back and forth. They're not going to even follow up on that. Instead, Drew just, you know, beats the shit out of Dean Ambrose. Then they have a weird segment where, like, Dean asked, like, Seth, you know, where were you? And then, you know, Seth asked, like, are you out of your mind? And, like, okay. No, I don't get it. I guess because Dean approached him, you know, last week and says, you know, slay the beast. They were trying to say, like, maybe he thinks that they're friends. And, like honestly, like, is that what passes as comedy? Like, some of the people in the crowd, like, audibly laughed. And I'm just like, you're finding this funny for what reason? Then we had Aleister Black interrupting Elias, and somebody thought it was a good idea to just have him, like, beat Elias just like that. You know, just straight up beat him. For no particular reason. No, you know, just like, I guess they wanted to debut him out of nowhere, and that's basically what we got. It's just Aleister Black, and, like, you know, okay, so does this guy look like a star? I think out of all 4 he does, but, like, again, it's like people just saying, oh, he's so awesome. Okay, you know, he doesn't like look that imposing. And plus, what is the point of having all 4 of these guys pretty much work the same style? Okay, so Tommaso Ciampa doesn't do as many flips, but everybody else, like Aleister Black, like doing moonsaults and flips, and Gargano's doing moonsaults and flips, and Ricochet is doing 1,000 fucking flips. You know, I remember when, you know, when we had a few high flyers in the WWE, like, you know, when Jericho came in, when Rey Mysterio showed up, and, you know, we had Taka Michinoku and Super Crazy. I was like, you know, I was actually really entertained by these guys because this was a different change of style than what we would normally get. Now, everyone is doing it. Every single fucking wrestler does a fucking moonsault or a flip of some sort. Even the guy going into the WrestleMania main event is a fucking high flyer in Seth Rollins. So when there is no reason to watch any individual wrestlers see anything different, they're all the same, what's the fucking point? I don't see why we should all go crazy over these guys. There's nothing special about them. Every single one of them is exactly the fucking same way with no differences. They all have the same moveset. They're all the same. Aleister Black was no different. And this just showed, like, they're just gonna have a guy come out from NXT and beat Elias. Like, if you want to talk about looking like a star, acting like a star, wrestling like a star, it is Elias. I've been saying it for 2 straight years already. 2 straight years, and it's pretty fucking sad because when you talk about why things don't change in wrestling, I just have to point your eyes in the direction of Elias. If they really gave a fuck, why would they let this happen to him? Why would they let a guy like Elias suffer like he does? I mean, it's really sad. They gotta do something. They gotta fix this problem. I mean, you can't have someone this talented being wasted the way he is. I mean, he stays committed to his character. Okay, you know, in Aleister Black, he has a cool entrance with the candles, but he's not Gangrel, okay? Can we get that out of the way? The Gothic gimmick has been done, and it's been done better, right? It was done better by Judas Messias. It was done better by Abyss, the Undertaker, the whole Brood. You know, even when the Hardy Boys are doing the new Brood gimmick, and even Kevin Thorne, you know, Kevin Fertig, they all did it better. Mordecai, every single wrestler did it better than Aleister Black. And I'm not just saying that to fit in with some kind of NXT hate theme. I really mean it, and you know that it's fucking true. You know, we're all saying, oh, he's doing the Gothic gimmick. But each and every one of those wrestlers I just named was more physically imposing than Aleister Black. And he didn't have to resort to 1,000 fucking flips to try to stand out. Because the thing is, you're not standing out anymore by doing that shit because everyone does it on the roster. Even the fucking Revival, who's, you know, supposed to be, you know, no flips, just fists. I even caught them doing suicide dives. Then in the main event, it was Ronda Rousey defeating Ruby Riott. So, you know, she has a little bit more trouble with her this week, which makes no, you know, on this night, which makes no sense because the previous night she beats her like this. Here she's a little bit of a challenge. And there's nothing else to show for it. The Riot Squad attacks her, then she both beats them up. No Charlotte, no Cringy Lynch. What's the fucking point? What's the fucking point? Look at this fucking show. I mean, honestly, like, there's 4 guys, and all I'm seeing on YouTube is, no, they didn't deserve this good show. They didn't deserve it. What they, you know, like, they didn't deserve it because they said, this is what the Smark said. They didn't deserve a good show because the crowd was dead. They didn't deserve a good show. It wasn't a good show, and that's why they were dead. They saw 4 guys who they saw were totally overrated, who didn't deserve to be there, who were there without any fanfare or any type of, you know, real WWE style introduction whatsoever. They just popped on the scene because WWE feels that they have to compete with AEW because of this whole, you know, fresh face initiative. Let's just sign a bunch of young talent. Let's just start pushing young talent for the fucking sake of it. It doesn't matter if they're good, bad, sad, happy, glad. It doesn't matter what they are or who looks like a star. No, they just push them all. Push all of them because AEW is doing it. Fuck that mentality. Fuck it, you know, where the sun don't shine. I mean, honestly, I mean, I could not care less about any of these guys. And this show, This show was an abomination. This show showed me when they buried almost everybody that was worth a damn, and they pushed EC3 to the side because we couldn't even concentrate on the NXT guy that they just brought up. Instead, what did they do? They threw a whole bunch of new guys in, and they're going to do the same thing. They're not even going to properly push these guys either. That's the thing. This is going to be a cycle with them. They're going to keep on, you know, trying to see what works, not finding what works, and it's just going to all end up as a giant fucking mess in the end. Hated the show. Hated people's reaction to the show. It's just, you know, WWE and the fans are just, you know, I can't stand it. Can't stand the product, can't stand them. So guys, if you enjoyed the review, please hit a thumbs up. And tell, you know, and if you didn't, hit a thumbs down and tell me why. I really would love to know. So, subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications for when I release all my new videos. And thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.